So this right here is a letter I wrote to Judge Christian Watne. About my problem with Dakota County and how once I found out, and it was at my attention, about my minor daughter at the time when I brought it to their attention. She was still a minor. And she was around a sex offender, Jeffrey Watne. And needless to say, as soon as I found out, contacted them about my concern and my problem and showed them proof. Well, you can hear all my other videos on YouTube about how the probation officer supervisor said nothing would have been allowed for him to be having contact, for him to be able to fly out of state, and my daughter being with. Every time he told me something, I called him out and pointed it out. And after that, who cares? Like, they ain't gonna do nothing? I mean, really, what the fuck is wrong with this world? I mean, you got a fucking sex offender that went and touched his own kid at the age of 14. I mean, at 4 years old, his daughter was 4 years old, and he touched her multiple times for over a period of a year. So that means he started touching her when she was 3 years old. Now, you mean to tell me, I mean, that's fucked up. 25 years probation. They tried sweeping under the rug, tried to get him off probation once I found out, because I started bringing a concern and started questioning it. And now I'm the bad guy for questioning about all this. So now, after I even wrote that letter, this fucking child molester writes a letter in on trying to leave the country, claims due to his work. This guy's been working, delivering petroleum as a sex offender, being able to drive all around town in the middle of the night, delivering gasoline as a pedophile since 2008. And he's a sex offender for touching his daughter starting at the age of 3. Now it says here he was sentenced in May of 2004, and he was placed on probation in January of 2005. Now, if you're a sex offender and you got 25 years probation for touching your own kid, and you got placed on probation in 2005, now do you really think someone's going to be able to go, which would be your girlfriend, now wife, in January 2005, you're placed on probation, and you really think that probation or anyone would ever allow now your girlfriend that's got a minor child that's only, what, a year and a half old, they're going to let her take a weekend class of, what, a couple hours to say she's a verified supervised person? She took a workshop that only took a couple hours on one day? And this is like 3 months after you got put on probation for touching your own kid, and they're going to allow that to be okay and claim that as a supervised person while you're around a minor kid, a minor daughter that's not even yours, and claim that your girlfriend then at the time, like, what would be wrong with her fucking head to even be around a sex offender like that? And Dakota County is going to allow this to be claimed as a supervised. This looks fictitious to me. Ain't no one in their right mind would allow that. I believe you got to do, what, a year of pedophile counseling and shit I mean, if you got sentenced in January 2005, 3 months later they're going to approve that when you didn't even take your pedophile class? Something ain't right there. And then they're going to claim this is a child mandate report right here to approve a pedophile for living with a kid. Now, one time in 17 years did they ever notify the father who had joint legal rights. Never, ever. And here the father couldn't even see the kid. Has filed papers so many times. They told me he was being vindictive, put a block on the case, and said he couldn't file papers anymore. 1 OP violation in 18 years. That's the only thing that the father got for, hey, at least tell my kid Merry Christmas. In the courtroom, handcuffed right there in front of the bailiff and judge and everything. And that's it. And they allowed a pedophile that touched his own kid starting at the age of 3. Unfucking believable. And when it's brought to their light and their attention and some concern was brought, what did they do? Tried sweeping it under the rug, tried getting him off probation early. Turned out the probation officer supervisor, Mark Mell, turns out his wife works for Scott County. Big shot down there, yep. Friends with the attorney or assistant county attorney, plus many others. If you look at her Facebook page, last name Mell. Mark Mell is her husband out of Dakota County, supervisor. You can see YouTube on that. Terry Olson is Jeff Watne's probation officer out of Dakota County. YouTube video on all that. Straight conversations on the phone. Not no hearsay. Straight conversation on the phone. Conversation with these people. And the demeanor and the way they act. And then to turn around and act like someone else is a bad guy. Pointed out numerous times that the guy should have been violated. Still on probation. Should be violated. Should fucking still be violated. And still they do nothing about it. Still, at this fucking point, should be violated. Straight lied when they did a child protection or a child assessment or mandate report. Straight had to fucking lied about the status between the father and the child. Had to have lied. He knew the situation. They should have contacted the father. He was fully aware of the situation. But for him to lie, to allow it, to deceive the court system so he could be around a minor kid that's not even his, and to make it so the father is not aware of that? Is that not a fucking violation or what? To deceive the county and the system so he could live and be under the same roof of a minor child, a daughter of someone, a kid that's not even his? So anyways, they approve for him to leave the country. When it's been brought to their attention about him flying out of state, numerous conversations with the probation officer, supervisor, all on YouTube videos, how it would have never been approved. Nope, he would have had to did it frivolously. They did nothing. Did they even bother asking him? Did you? Nope, not a fucking thing. They're fully 100% aware of everything on this. YouTube videos on that with the conversation straight with the people. They're fully aware and admitted. Straight admitted. They were aware of the situation and the status of the father the whole time. And they call it a miss that they never contacted or reached out. As you're dealing with a sex offender that touched his own minor daughter starting at the age of 3, they're going to call it a miss on notifying the father? That ain't no fucking miss. So here's the judge that approved for him to leave state or to leave country. As you can see in the other one, it's P.O. Terry Olson, yep. Still vouching for him, saying he was a good fucking boy. All this shit I brought to their attention now one time, to have they still to this point ever brought anything up to Scott County to make aware to them about what's been going on, about me contacting them, still have not contacted Scott County. Anything at all. I've even contacted Scott County myself. Molly Bruner, YouTube video on that, my conversations with her. A fucking sex offender. Unfucking believable.